Whispers in the woods. It was the kind of summer night that made everything feel alive. The howl of crickets mixed with the distant rustle of leaves, creating an eerie symphony. In the small town of Eldermoor, nestled between two great hills, a legend had once smoldered like the townsfolk's embers in their fire pits. A myth whispered among old men sitting on stoops. The Nyctophilus, a creature that thrived in shadows and fed on the fear of those who wandered through the forest at dusk. Lila Turner, a bright and curious 16-year-old, had heard tales of the Nyctophilus from her grandmother. A tall, slender figure with skin like bark, eyes that glow like embers, and the ability to compel you into the woods with a mere whisper, she remembered her grandmother saying, voice trembling as the old woman leaned in closer. Those who ventured too far got lost forever. At first, Lila dismissed the stories as mere campfire spook tales. But one balmy evening, fueled by youthful bravado and the thrill of the unknown, she decided to investigate the Vander Woods, the thick forest that flanked Eldermoor. Her friends, Jenna and Max, scoffed at her idea, but the thrill of a midnight adventure was too enticing to resist. Under a veil of stars, the trio made their way toward the towering trees. The moonlight poured through the branches, illuminating their path with a silvery glow. Lila felt a mix of excitement and fear as they stepped deeper into the forest, laughing and daring each other to venture further. Come on, Lila. Where's your sense of adventure? Max teased, shoving her lightly. Lila called back, you guys are scared of old stories. I'm not afraid. But even as she laughed, the stillness of the woods began to seep into her bones, and the tall trees grew oppressive. Each shadow seemed to twist and curl around her, and with every step, the air thickened as if the forest were breathing, becoming aware of them. Suddenly, they stumbled upon a clearing, and Lila's heart raced. In the center stood a gnarled tree, its bark twisted in intricate patterns, almost as if it were spelling out forgotten words. This is creepy, Jenna whispered, glancing around nervously. Let's just take a quick look, Lila urged, stepping closer to the tree. She touched its rough surface, feeling a chill run through her fingers. That's when she heard it, a soft whisper, laced with an otherworldly quality. Lila, her heart skipped a beat. Did you hear that? She gasped, looking back toward her friends, who were staring at her wide-eyed. Hear what? Max asked, panic creeping into his voice. Someone is calling my name, she insisted, her feet taking a few steps toward the sound. It's coming from the other side of the tree. No, we shouldn't go further, Jenna shouted, grabbing Lila's elbow, but Lila felt compelled to obey the whisper, a mixture of fascination and dread pulling her in. As if in a trance, she moved around the tree, the shadows deepening, enveloping her in darkness. The whisper grew louder, and she strained to understand, her heart pounding. Follow me, Lila. Embrace the night. Suddenly, the air shifted. The night grew cold, and a chill ran down her spine. A figure emerged from the shadows, a tall, slender shape that contorted as it stepped into the light. Its skin was indeed like the trunk of the very tree, with deep grooves and hues of brown and gray. But it was the creature's eyes that struck fear into Lila's heart. They glowed like burning coals against its shadowy form. No, Jenna yelled, pulling Lila back, but the tendrils of fear began to knot around Lila's heart. The Nyctophilus spoke again, its voice echoing in her mind and drowning out her thoughts. Stay with me, Lila. You seek adventure. Together, we can dance in the shadows forever. The creature's voice was intoxicating, and Lila felt herself swaying toward it, the darkness promising secrets and the thrill of the unknown. But then she caught a glimpse of Jenna and Max, their faces pale with terror. The spell slowly began to shatter, and fear clawed back to her senses. No, I can't, Lila screamed, shaking her head as she tore her gaze from the creature. The Nyctophilus recoiled but didn't fade. Its coal-like eyes burned brighter as if feeding on Lila's dread. Max pulled Lila, dragging her back, and they bolted together, Jenna at their side, racing through the forest as if the shadows themselves were chasing them. Lila could hear the whispers turning into shrieks of rage behind them. Lila, you will return, you cannot escape the night. Bursting out of the woods, the group collapsed onto the grassy meadow outside the tree line, gasping for breath. The whispers faded, but the fear clung to them. The towering trees seemed to whisper amongst themselves, as if the forest would never forget the night they trespassed and awoke an ancient power. From that night onward, Lila never spoke of her encounter. Eldermoor fell quiet, the tales of the Nyctophilus buried under layers of disbelief. But sometimes, when the wind rustled through the trees, Lila still felt eyes watching, the whisper beckoning her to return. A chilling reminder that some legends hold a darkness best left undisturbed.